And by all means, I know you wanted to speak, Joy.
Well, I was going to talk about the teachers for a second, because I was a teacher. Mm-hmm. Believe me, you don't want me to have a gun.
Yeah. Well, my mother's a teacher, my aunt is a teacher, and I don't... Their job is not to be gun wielders. They're supposed to be teaching our children.
I know. Somebody said something in the yesterday, the CNN or wherever it was, both of those things that I thought was very interesting. One of the teachers said, I don't want to be responsible to have to shoot someone. I mean, it's bad to get shot, but to shoot someone, I mean, I don't know if I could live with that.
And actually, I think the teacher who said it, I'm blanking out on her name, but there's a teacher there who is a gun owner who was at Parkland,
yes.
And she said, you know, I'm now reconsidering AR-15s. Mm-hmm. We've seen one of the biggest Republican donors I know, Al Hoffman. You might remember him. He raised hundreds of millions for the Republican Party, and he said, I'm not giving any more money to anybody who does not support a assault weapons ban. Yeah. And I think people need to take a stand. I think it's time that people...
And many states do, by the way. Many states do, by the way, including New York, where we're in right now. But I will say this thing about the teachers. I need to emphasize again, President Trump is talking about people with military experience who are comfortable.
But do you
know
that
training with guns?
Do you really think that's practical? You know how many schools there are in this country?
So you're
going to have military trained people in every school?
I think schools need to be guarded much more than they are now. I think there'd be better security. Well, and I do think if you have ROTC or military experience, no, I don't have a problem with you arming and having a gun.
Can we talk about statistics for a second? Can we talk about facts?
Yeah,
because I think facts matter. Everyone that has done a study...
You know what? I'm not sitting here spouting off hubris. I just gave you a ton of facts. 39
Stop. Okay, stop. Everybody just stop. Take a breath. Yeah. Everybody just take a breath.
I just want to talk.
I understand. Everybody wants to talk. Let's just take a breath, because all I'm hearing is and so we can't hear anything.
You can't talk at the same time.
You can't talk at the same time.
I just want to say something. That's okay.
Yeah.
If we look at the facts, if we look at the statistics, everyone that has done the studies in law enforcement, at Harvard, at all the think tanks, they have shown that more guns do not make people safe. Less guns make people safe. They have shown that having guns readily accessible makes not only homicide more likely, suicide is more likely, and shootings by accident is more likely. So when we have the President of the United States advocating more guns, teachers having guns, I wonder, where are we as a country that we now no longer look at statistics, we no longer look at studies, and we no longer look at facts?
May I speak?
You have something?
I was going to say, there is, if you follow the money, more guns is more money for gun manufacturers. So there might be the NRA. I mean, the other thing about the NRA, I never really thought about it until recently, the NRA. And years ago on this show, that we wanted to bring up the NRA, people would say to me, don't talk about them. They go after you. It's scary. I think that is different now. I think that people are taking on the NRA. And a lot of people in Congress, somebody said this morning, if you can't take on the NRA, you're in the wrong job. And I think that made a lot of sense. Now, I respect people who have guns. Let me just say one more thing. I respect people who have guns. I once lived in the woods. People know the story. I was trapped out somewhere in the middle of the woods with 2 basset hounds, a baby. My husband went to Tijuana to do his PhD. Don't ask why. And I was alone in the woods, and I wanted a handgun. Yeah. I remember saying to friends, why can't I get a gun, just in case some weirdo, of course I was reading in Cold Blood at the time, that book about these guys coming in and killing you in the woods. So I understand wanting a gun that you know how to use when you're trapped alone and with babies in the woods. I don't understand why hunters and sportsmen need to use military-style rifles. That is completely over my head.
Can I say something now? We talked about this before, and I have so much respect for that, because I think there's an impression with a lot of people that that liberals want to completely remove the Second Amendment entirely.
No.
And I think that is also a misnomer that I'm glad that is cleared up today.
Of course.
Okay. So,
even capital punishment in some cases.
as the freak of nature at the table, I just want to point out again, there is no reason why the NRA cannot work with these parents and students. There is no reason, because when you say, listen, we're looking at a lot of these school shootings, the kids are coming out of houses with a lot of guns. So we want to find a way to work this out. That's what people are trying to do. Less, you can't have guns, but hey, maybe there's too many and we need to take a look at it. So we have to have the conversation. The NRA has to hear it. They have to hear it. I think it's important. I think everybody at the table wants everybody to have their best life. But my best life can't outshine your best life. And if your best life says, I need your help with this, or I need your help with this, or I need your help with this, we have to find a way to do it. And that's that.
Okay.
So,
all right now.
Well, I'm glad I got to say something coherent today. God, some days my lips go this way and I don't know what happened. Yesterday was a day of activism and action against gun violence, and it included the White House opening its doors to people impacted by gun violence for a listening session where parents and students from Parkland High School had so much to say. Take a look.
Should have been one school shooting, and we should have fixed it. And I'm pissed, because my daughter I'm not going to see again. It's not about gun laws right now. That's another fight, another battle. Let's fix the schools, and then you guys can battle it out whatever you want. But we need our children safe.
Woke up to the news that my best friend was gone. And I don't understand why I could still go in a store and buy a weapon of war. How do we not stop this after Columbine, after Sandy Hook? I'm sitting with a mother that lost her son.
They listened. Will they hear what folks are really saying? Maybe.
Maybe. I was surprised that the president, even after this listening session, seemed to suggest that teachers that the answer is having more guns rather than less. And he mentioned that teachers should carry weapons. And teachers are there to teach our children.
Can I interject really quick?
Sure.
He actually tweeted this morning that that's fake news. What I said was to look at the possibility of giving concealed guns to gun-adept teachers with military or special training experience, only the best. 20% of teachers, a lot, which would now be immediately fire back if a savage sicko came into a school. They're talking about people with military training, so it's not all teachers in all schools.
Teachers. He recommended that
with military and special training experience who have training with weapons and guns.
No, but what he said was, because I listened to it as well, he said that they would train teachers in all sorts of military styles. He's not hiring military vets, Megan, as teachers.
What
he
did
wants
I just
to
say?
train
He said
the
looking
teachers.
into the possibility of giving concealed guns to gun-adept teachers with military or special training experience.
What he said yesterday in the listening session is different than what he tweeted today. I think today he clarified what he said in the holes that were filled. Now, something that happened last night that was very interesting, though, is that Marco Rubio, who is a Republican, a conservative Republican, had his own kind of, back and forth yesterday, and he said he's against it, not only as a Republican, not only as a senator, but also as the father of four.
He's against
It's going to be a raging...
Cecile Richards yesterday at the hearing said, in fact, they do not. In fact, there are no Planned Parenthoods that provide any mammogram services. They basically provide abortion, contraception, STDs, things like and pregnancy tests. That's it. There are much more comprehensive women's health care centers. I spent a lot of time in Iowa, and in Iowa there's 213 women's health centers. 13 Planned Parenthood centers. So if you said we were going to take the Planned Parenthood money, reallocate it to actually clinics that do provide a whole host of other women's health services, women are probably going to get a more holistic health screening at those places than they would at Planned Parenthood.
So you're saying if you reallocate all of that money away from Planned Parenthood to these clinics, will those clinics then provide abortions, or where do you want these displaced women to go?
Yeah, well, there are obviously, Planned Parenthood is one abortion provider in the country. There are others that provide abortions. Some, it depends on the state. Some, there are very few abortion providers. Some, like in the state of New York, there's a lot of them. So that, again, the money that we're reallocating has nothing to do with abortion. I mean, I will accept that the money that is going to Planned Parenthood cannot be used for abortion. So when you reallocate that money away, it shouldn't affect their ability to provide abortions, unless, of course, they're commingling funds, and that's one of the questions that people have.
This is touchy. I want to ask a different kind of question.
Yes,
not speaking for, but being a part of the gay and transgender community, why can we not have equal marriage rights?
Yeah.
In your opinion?
Yeah. I would say this, that marriage has a particular role and purpose in society. It always has. And the whole purpose of marriage is to encourage, for society to encourage men and women to come together to form permanent bonds for the benefit of each other. And just like you would say, well, two women coming together, that benefits each other. But the greater purpose of marriage that society has always valued is to bring men and women together so when they have children, there's a permanent bond by which those children can be raised by their natural mother and natural father. And when you have a law that says, as the court said, that marriage has nothing to do with children anymore, then what you're going to have is you're not going to have a society encouraging the behavior that is in the best interest of children and the future of society.
I don't understand why you feel like people in the gay and transgender community can't raise a very beautiful, smart, intelligent child as well as a man and a woman, when sometimes, coming from a heterosexual family, there's a lot more fighting, there's a lot more stuff going on, and there's more, sometimes, not all the time, get that straight, not all the time. I don't understand why you feel like that community can't give and provide for that child just as well as a straight couple can.
Again, I'm not saying that